everybody, how you doing? I've already delayed this video enough, so let's get right into it. Today we'll be talking about my favorite black bull, Luck Voltia. Okay, gotta bring the energy down a little bit. I mean, it's luck we're talking about here. We gotta get the energy levels high, but maybe not too high. There's a happy medium somewhere. I'm sure we'll find it. Or maybe not. I don't know. Alright, so yeah, Luck's my favorite black bull. You know, it just seems like a fun-loving, battle-craving, bloodthirsty little sociopath. You know, it's just whatever. He's an interesting character, if nothing else. Anything you could use to describe Luck, boring is certainly not one of them, okay? The first time we see Luck as a part of the Black Bulls, you know, he kind of fit in perfectly, because it was sort of like a motley crew, you know, a bunch of strange folks tend to join up with the Black Bull squad, but the first time we really got to see Luck show his stuff was during the dungeon, expedition arc, okay? So you had Asta and Noel and Nero and Luck. In fact, if memory serves, I think it was Luck that actually gave Nero her name. So there's that, or, you know, the name of the bird. You know what it is. And so we got to see him clash with the Diamond Kingdom. You know, the Golden Dawn was there as well, and then the whole fight with Mars. So yeah, he uses lightning magic, okay? And he could do this in a variety of ways. He can do this in the typical way of just, I could shoot electricity out of my hands. It's awesome. But he can also add a little bit of creation magic into the mix too, creating lightning gauntlets or lightning shoes, allow him to jump around the battlefield a little bit, just zippity-zippity-zoopity-doo-dah, and just strike his opponents with that, adding an extra layer of protection as well as, you know, another way of damaging the opponents by creating, like, claws and stuff with the arms and the gauntlets and just slashing them with electricity. You know what? I just got it. The reason I think I love Luck so much is because, like, if you were magically sucked into a world like Black Clover, like a fantasy realm that had magic and crazy monsters and everything like that, I mean, like, I don't know about you, but my reaction to that if I was given, like, lightning powers would be like, guys, isn't this so cool? We live in a world with magic! I can shoot lightning from my fingers! There's a giant dragon over there! Let's go fight it! You know, that would be my reaction. I don't know about yours. It might settle a little bit after a while, but if you were just... That's Luck. That's Luck's character 24/7. It was rather distressing to his mother, yes. Luck's mom, we actually get to see later on in the manga. His upbringing was not like... Well, okay, it wasn't as depressing as some other characters. It wasn't great. There was maybe a little bit of a rift there between Luck and his mama. What happened was Luck was born in a commoner family, right? And so even since he was a little kid, he really didn't have any way of expressing, like, a negative emotion. Now, it's not like the same thing with, like, the Smiles in One Piece where he's, like, absolutely physically incapable of expressing a negative emotion or crying or being sad. He can do that, and we've seen it before. It's just, like, more of a psychological complex, I think. It's like 99.9% of the time, he's always smirking. And this kind of, like, skeeved his mom out a little bit when Luck was growing up, and no matter what, he never seemed to express any other emotion other than just that, you know, that joyous smirk, which I can assume that would probably, you know, concern a parent. It's just like, hey, my child is always smiling no matter what happens. Even if I tell them, like, really bad news or something horrible happens, like, after a while you would start to question, like, is there something actually wrong with my child mentally where they cannot express their emotions properly? Now, when it comes to, like, the mental health care in the Black Clover universe, kinda non-existent, really. So, I'm sure with his mom, it started at first, like, confusion, like, how come my child is always smiling no matter what? And then later it was maybe frustration, like, every time she looked at Luck, she got kind of a little creeped out and just like, why don't you just frown every now and then? What's wrong with you? You know, so a little bit of a rift there, if that was his upbringing, but eventually his aptitude for magic shone through, his aptitude for lightning magic, and even though he's a commoner, he has a lot of mana and everything. He went up against a person of noble birth and defeated them in, like, a tournament, like a school kind of tournament, and that really proved to his mom, and everybody's like, oh, this kid has maybe a bright future, okay? He's really kind of weird, you know, with this constant smiling and everything, and he craves battle and all that stuff, but he has really good magic power. So his mom actually gave him some words of encouragement there that he, you know, really took to heart. Now, his mom is currently not alive. She did pass away eventually, apparently from, like, high amounts of stress or whatever. You know, honestly, if we're looking at it, it's not impossible considering Luck. You know, he really is kind of a sociopath in the sense that, like, he can't really express certain emotions properly. He's always with that expression and always expressing, like, joy in whatever he does. Maybe his mom also had some sort of, like, mental disorder, okay, and that maybe eventually led to her her premature death. I don't really know the story about there. I don't know if Tabata is really going to delve into it all that much there, but certainly Luck, you know, while he is capable of showing other emotions, it's like you really got to break through the barriers there in order to get him to that point, because most of the time he's like just smiling and cheery and all that stuff, even though he might not actually be feeling that. So yeah, there's some issues there, but it wasn't like his mom constantly, like, you know, berated him or beat the crap out of him or hated him like every single day. It was just more of an unstable kind of relationship, but it's very clear that he still loves his mom. Now, when it comes to friends, I mean, everybody in the Black Bulls he considers allies and friends and all that stuff. He might be a little bit more, you know, overbearing with that, just a slightly, just like, hey guys, how y'all doing? We're all friends here, right? Let's go and fight to see who's stronger, you know? That's kind of thing, you know, he's always on. So it's like, man, a little of luck goes a long way, but especially with Magna. Magna's sort of like his rival. They joined up in the Black Bulls, I think, around the same time, so they're the ones that always spar together, and they always go off on missions together, so they have a really good relationship, okay? And of course, we talked about it when I did Magna's video, when Luck was reincarnated into Lufalu, the elf. They battled there, and that was a very tear-jerking moment, and at the end of that fight, that's where we really got to see Luck break down and start crying, you know? And I'm hoping that might improve later on. I still think all the time we're pretty much going to see Luck with that smile, but every now and then when something really major happens or something really tragic, we could see Luck actually begin to express those kind of emotions, like, properly. So that's a good thing. Like, he's improving as he goes about the story, right? And that's also something you could say, like, from Lufalu's presence inside of Luck that, like, might have changed his outlook, you know, made him be able to express different emotions, okay? Because Lufalu, like a lot of the elves, I mean, not really necessarily evil, just, you know, having a lot of revenge boiling up in them over the centuries, you know, built to a fever pitch. But at the end of the day, maybe his influence could have helped him. So that's good there. Now, I think the shining moment when it comes to Luck, at least for me, was when he went up against Veto alongside Magna, when they did that team combination attack, you know, the lightning fire, you know, drill or whatever it was called against Veto. Didn't really end up damaging Veto all that much, but it really showcased, like, okay, we've been part of the Black Bulls for about the same time. We've been sparring every day. Nobody knows better than Magna Luck's techniques. Nobody knows better than Luck Magna's techniques, okay? So it's like, we're gonna work together here, combine our magic powers kind of like perfectly in sync here, and just ba-ba-ba-bam, slam them right into them. That fight was also really good, because it clearly showed them getting beaten down first by Veto. Like, they were just trying to do their normal tricks, and nothing really worked. Even in that point where he was battle damaged and kind of exhausted and on the brink of collapsing, Luck still showcased, like, let's do this, come on. Okay, I'm starting to breathe a little bit heavily here, but we could do this. Team attack, come on, Magna! And Magna's like, all right, fine, let's do that. And then boom, and it scuffed Veto up a little bit, but it didn't really do much damage. After that, of course, Asta and Noelle, they showed up later on. Vanessa and Finral, they were really more the MVPs of that battle, but still, pretty damn cool. Something else I wanted to bring up why I like Luck's character, and it also connects back to another character. Okay, you ever play Fire Emblem Awakening? Henry. Henry and Luck would be like best friends if you've ever played that game, because Henry, kind of the same exact character, you know? At first glance, you look at him, he's just an unassuming, like, adolescent kid, you know, and just like, oh, okay, you know, he's just a regular kid, and then he turns out like, yay, I love blood, you know, and Luck is like, really? You love blood? I love blood too. You know, let's go harvest some together. You know, just like, what the hell? It's just the juxtaposition of that, like childlike innocence mixed with that like bloodlust and that like battle drive. I don't know why. I just find that very fascinating when it comes to like a character. Very funny also. Oh my god. Remember the scene when that moment in Black Clover when Finral and Asta and Luck all go to that mixer together? It's just like, I love that moment, because Finral, this is what he does, you know, he goes out and he does double dates or triple dates or whatever, you know, get to know the ladies. That's Finral's thing. Don't worry, Finral's coming up, actually, for a while. Next video is going to be Asta's, so, you know, main character discussion, that'll be fun. So much stuff to unpack with Asta, really. But no, so Finral's trying to figure out, like, alright, who am I going to take to this mixer? And, like, Asta is like, well, alright, he's kind of a dunderhead, but he's pretty ripped, you know, he might be a thing with the ladies. I'll bring Asta. Who else am I gonna bring? And he's looking around the Black Bulls, and it's like, oh god, this is gonna be rough. Okay. Gordon, oh, no, that's not gonna work. Gray, no, okay. Oh, Luck, I guess, maybe, and Finral's like, hey, Luck, wanna go to this mixer? And, you know, Luck's on his mind 24/7 is just fighting and proving his strength and showing off his magic and just like, oh, okay, mixer, does that sound like fun? It's like, no, well, it is fun, but we're not fighting. We're gonna go meet with some girls. Oh, girls, are they strong? Are we gonna fight them? Are they mages? Like, no. Slow your roll there, Skippy. We're gonna go to a restaurant, sit down and eat food, and hopefully go home with these women afterwards, so we can fight with them. It depends what they're into, but probably not, you know? So eventually they all go to this mixer, and it goes right about as well as you would figure. Luck is there talking to his date, and it's just like, you know, he's misconstruing everything to just mean like, oh yeah, you're a good fighter, I'm a good fighter too, yeah, check out, I got lightning powers and stuff, and, you know, like, okay, that was a pretty funny moment though, you know? Okay. During the Royal Magic Night exam, that was another good one, too. By the way, there's that one moment that everybody loves to talk about when Asta and Luck and Magna all square up against Langris, when Langris is about to deliver that finishing blow against Finral, and they're all just like, no way. You're not hurting our you know, comrade over here. So that's always a great moment, alright? But I'm just talking about, like, a moment just in and of itself with Luck. The one with Magna's really good, although that's with Magna. And another one that's really good was during the mixer. I like that moment, too. That was really funny. Now, during the Royal Magic Night exam, I believe he was on Team K with Klaus, and then there was that girl from the Blue Rose Knights that had wing magic. I forget her name right now. But anyway, yeah, they team up. I think their first match was just a throwaway match, not a big deal. They just showcase how powerful they are, and Luck shatters their crystal. The second one is when they were up against Rill, alright? And so they're like, alright, we need to figure out a way, because this guy's really powerful. He's got the drawing magic and everything. He's a captain. We need to figure this out, right? So they actually do a really cool collaboration effort there. Klaus and Luck had already known each other from the dungeon, so they, you know, had a previous relationship. But what they do is really cool. So Klaus creates like a ballista, like a giant crossbow out of his steel magic, and then Luck creates the giant bolt out of lightning, like a lightning arrow. And then I think the girl from the Blue Rose Knights uses her wings to kind of like angle the ballista wherever they need to go. And the hope is to just fire it off and destroy the crystal, you know, just past Rill. So they fire it off. It's a really good collaborative effort, really strong spell, but Rill is really overpowered and uses his magic to just bounce the arrow back, and it destroys their crystal instead. So, you know, they lose, but it's not like, you know, it's not like Luck got really beaten down in that fight. In fact, I think there was even a collaborative effort there with Luck. Luck, being the battle maniac he is, doesn't necessarily mean he's against doing things tactically. It does seem like, yeah, he'll just run in, it's like, oh, a dungeon, that sounds like fun. nuts and then just charge in and jump all over the place with his lightning boots and attack things and all that stuff. But it also seems like when he's up against an opponent that he knows is really strong and he has other teammates, he's just like, all right, well, let's figure out a strategy. Hopefully it involves my lightning, but we can come up with a strategy. So, you know, he's like that too. After that moment, I think the next big one was the fight, when he gets reincarnated as Lufalu and they fight against Magna. I already talked about that a lot during Magna's Brawl, but suffice it to say, very emotional there. And they managed to use Asta's sword to remove the elf and everything, and he begins to cry for his friends, and he remembers his mom, and it was a moment where it's just like, yes, we always figured that, like, we wanted to see him break through those boundaries. We wanted to see Luck finally, you know, express another emotion, because that would be a good thing for him too, right? To really, because it makes you feel like he's holding all this stuff in all the time because he can't express it properly. But that moment where he breaks down in tears for his friends and remembering his mom and everything and all the stuff his friends did to try to save him and everything, and that was the powerful moment there with Luck there. Like, emotionally, that was it. Now, afterwards, once again, I don't think we really saw much from Luck. I think he just stayed behind to try to defeat the enemies. He didn't go into the palace or anything to fight against the elves. So yeah, that pretty much brings us to where we're at right now in the story. Man, I really blitzed through this, didn't I? Man, I was like, maybe it's just because I'm like, okay, this is Luck's video, Tekking. You gotta do this 110%. You gotta bring the energy. You gotta bring the fire. You know, I mean, you gotta bring the lightning to this, you know? So I just charge right in and do it. And I kind of blitzed by it. I mean, there's other stuff to really talk about, but I think I covered all the major stuff with Luck, right? Next one's gonna be a longer one because it's Asta's video. Or maybe not, I don't know. See, with these videos, look, I don't know, it's just because Black Clover, you know, some of the characters like Asta and Noelle and like Yami, they have way more moments in the story to work with, right? When I did the Straw Hat discussions, those were so ridiculously long because I was dealing with like a 20-year-long manga. Even the My Hero Academia ones, yeah, there were a few students that didn't really do all that much, like Sato, but there were a good chunk where Horikoshi, you know, introduced them into a major part of an arc, right? With Black Clover, it does at least seem like I can cover the major points of a character a lot quicker than I could with those other series. Now, like I said, when we do Asta's, it's going to be longer. He's the MC. Yami's, when we get to his, finally, his is going to be the last video. That's going to be a good one. And, you know, there's other Black Bulls that have a much more elaborate backstory, like Vanessa's. Vanessa's backstory with the Witch Forest and everything and her mom, a lot more stuff I can go into detail here. Luck's backstory, I mean, like, we found out about it. It's just really not that elaborate. It's just, you know, the strained relationship with him and his mom, and, you know, the way that other people viewed him, like, the reason actually he got admitted into the Black Bulls, I didn't talk about this. So, at his entrance exam, you know, he did his thing and everything, it's just, he got a little bit too excited, ecstatic, Luck the Ecstatic, or Luck the Eccentric is a few of his other names, and he almost straight up killed one of the other mages during the entrance ceremony, okay? And he did it while, like, grinning, like, ha ha ha, come on, you're not done yet, right? Oh, I'm not allowed to kill him? Okay. And so, all the other knights, and all the other captains and everything, so, all the other mages and all the captains, really, aside from Yami, they're looking at this kid, and they're like, well, he does have really good lightning magic. I mean, that can't be disputed. He's really strong, and he has, like, a gift for this, but, does anybody want to deal with this guy? Does anyone else want to deal with this kid? You know, you'd constantly having to be, like, babysitting him. He'd be going off and causing ruckus and causing a problem all the time with his personality. I just think a lot of the other captains just didn't want to deal with that. And so, Yami was the only one whose hand was up. Yami was, like, looking at the other captain. It's like, really? Really? None of you want that kid. And all the other ones were like, nope, nope. And they like, Jack, you don't even want this kid. And Jack is like, hey, listen, man, look, I know I'm Jack the Ripper. I go around slicing people open for funsies for Saturday night entertainment. That kid scares the ever-loving crap out of me. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, all right? You could take him if you want, Yami. I'm not doing it. All right? And Yami's like, okay, screw you guys, I'll get him. Yeah, kid, come over to the Black Bulls. We got fun, you know? You could go around and jump around, be strong people to fight, electricity, that's fine. Just don't, like, electrocute me while I'm trying to sleep and we're all good. And, you know, Luck is just like, yay, I got accepted, let's do this. And so there you go. I just took it from there, I guess. But yeah, really strong. I think mostly when it comes to his magic, we just got to see the just basic lightning stuff. He can create stuff out of lightning, and then the lightning arms and the lightning boots. I think that was pretty much it. But hey, you know, new arc. I hope we get to focus a little bit more on Luck. I hope we get to focus on a lot of the Black Bulls that were like part of the elf reincarnation and stuff, so we really get to see like how that experience changed them. You know, I don't know if it was really explained yet. It might have been that after the elves leave their bodies, do they still like remember them? At least their names or their personalities, or does that just go away? I'm not saying like Luck would have access to all of Lufalu's memories or anything, but does Luck, you know, remember Lufalu, remember who he was? Like, oh yeah, that was the elf that died and reincarnated into my body, and I know his personality and how he acted because we literally shared a body there for a little while. If that's the case, I'd like to see Luck and Gauche really, you know, see how that experience changed them. You know, probably for the better, I would hope. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and next time we'll be doing Asta. I'm gonna have to move the date of these videos. I usually did them every Thursday. Thursday's now like a really busy day for me. You know, I have some other stuff going on there, so I'll maybe shift it around and maybe make it a Monday or a Tuesday. I'll do the Black Bull video. I'll still try to get them out every, you know, once a week, you know, as the regular schedule dictates. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking signing out.